my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So it is Paradise Lanterns Day, so we'll be talking about that plus other things. So first it is Teacher Appreciation Day. If you have a quilt made for a teacher or have a teacher's theme to it, I think that would be awesome to show today over at my Facebook group, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan. The link is in the description box under the video. While you're there, click the subscribe. That just helps me out because it lets YouTube know that more of you enjoy my videos, and then they tend to share it to other quilters who haven't yet found me. So it helps me out. It costs you absolutely nothing. You just click it. It just means that now my videos are in your list of videos that you enjoy watching. Okay, so Teacher Appreciation Day, I'd also like to give a huge shout out to the quilt teachers of the world. My fellow teachers who are out there doing in-person classes, writing books, doing YouTube videos with all kinds of instructions for you. Lots of it is free. They just give what they have. Then they have incredibly in-depth, wonderful content and wonderful classes that they do for you that you can buy and purchase. So please support the quilt teachers of the world because they make your quilting life more fun. Yay! Okay, let's talk about eagles. I went and dug up. I went and hunted it up. There it is. That is my eagle quilt. And it is in this book that I wrote. There's actually no date on here. And I didn't go look it up, but it's probably about 2003, maybe 2003. So over 20 years ago, I wrote this book. And it was a book, it was actually my second published book, but the first book with all original patterns that were not found anywhere else. The first book was a collaboration and with patterns that had already been published. This is all new patterns, and this was also designed to go with my very first fabric line, which was called Old Blooms. And so we called the book Vintage Blooms, and it has images from the fabric all through it. Here are some of the other pieces. And the eagle quilt and a tote bag is in here. Now the book has been out of print forever, probably 15 years. So you're only going to find it at a reseller. I will link you to an Amazon reseller that has a few right now. That you're going to find it at a thrift store. The only way I get any credit for your purchase is if you do it through Amazon. If you buy it at a thrift store or a yard sale or, your friend gives it to you, then just enjoy it. I don't get any benefit from you having it, but I will be happy that you do. So let's look at my eagle quilt. Did I name it? Was I naming stuff? Had I figured that out yet? Oh, I was. There's a rose medallion. Was that one? The eagle is the first one in the book. Here's a little write-up, and then the eagle was called Eagles and Blooms. I wasn't too creative there, but here it is, first pattern in the book. Let me show it to you up close. I quilted it, and I remember, so I'm going to tell you a little story so you can learn a little bit about, my journey. Whoops, I'm wrapped in the cord. About my journey. So this is all made with my Old Blooms fabric line, which was my first fabric line ever. It was so exciting to do, and at the time, I really didn't understand how everything worked yet. I didn't understand how the business worked. And we did get a little bit of fabric ahead of time. And so I used it to make things to have in my booth at the trade show where we announced the fabric line. And then these were the patterns that went with it. And there were 5 or 6 patterns. I didn't design any of these until the fabric came because I didn't have good tools to do digital designing. And so I just did it, when the fabric came. And here's my eagle up close. Here she is. Hold on. Let me see. Isn't she gorgeous? And you can see how I was definitely took a lot of inspiration from the vintage quilt because I've got that great big daisy, which I loved. I drew my own eagle. My eagle doesn't look anything like the one on the vintage quilt. And as I've said, there's zillions of eagles out there. But I drew my own eagle, and then I put the vines around. Now, let me show you the backing, because when we got the fabric lines, there was not enough to do backing for any quilts. You had to save everything to do the front of your quilt. And so I pulled other fabric I had, which was this big piece of blue and white patriotic fabric, which has, like the colors don't go at all, but that's okay. I do that. I don't mind that. So there's the colors. And then what about along the bottom? See, there wasn't enough of that piece. I didn't own enough of that. So I had along the side and on the bottom this tan piece, which of course those colors look better with the front. But I love that I use this. Now that it's here, I love it. I love it, love it. And then just a little plain label on there. So this quilt, I'm going to have to hang it up this year because I've not hung it up for a while. It's in my one spot. I have a spot with all the patriotic things. I've got this cord pinned on the other side. That is why I keep tripping over it. Well, I'm not tripping. I can just feel it under my leg. And it's because I put it on the wrong side. I put it on the walking side, which is no good. No good, no good. So I'm going to put it up this year and enjoy it because I've not hung it up for many, many years. This is the first time I've actually had it out for a long time. I had to hunt around for it. What was really fun is, let me show you this picture, is one of our friends, Marcia, shared this picture in our Quilts Along with Pat Sloan group at Facebook, that she was making these blocks. She never got any further, but she had the blocks and she wanted to show them. And so that means Marcia has been hanging out with me for over 20 years. Bless you. Mwah. That is just awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. There's not too many people, not too many friends out there who are still around that long, but there's a few of you. There's a few of you. Okay, and also on this Eagle discussion, that magazine, the Good Housekeeping magazine from 1961, stated that the kit was the kit quilt was inspired by a quilt in the Philadelphia Museum of Art. I'd get the name right. Museum of Art, Philadelphia Museum of Art. So I went onto the museum's website and used their contact page. And they sent back a note. They are a large museum. They have an enormous amount of inventory, and so they don't take random searches from the general public, which would be me. So I sent them a picture and everything and how it was mentioned. Now she did, or he, whichever, I forget who, it doesn't matter. The person sent back a really nice note telling me all of the ways that I can search the archives on their website. So there were several different links for me to use so that I could go and do my own search for an eagle quilt, which is basically what I'd have to do, search for quilt and then dive down deeper and search for eagle quilts and see if they still have an eagle quilt. They may not. Museums don't keep everything forever. If you're not familiar, museums will have a piece come in and then at some point they may sell it or trade it with another museum for a different type of quilt or maybe a better style quilt for their collection, for the story that they're collecting for. And so quilts don't always stay forever. I mean, any item doesn't always stay forever in a museum. And since this was such a long time ago, it was 1961, it may not be in their collection anymore. So if any of you have any knowledge of where the original quilt design, the original quilt, the vintage quilt that this design was based off of is at, I would love to know. I would love to know if you have a connection at the Philadelphia Art Museum and maybe you know somebody that works there and you could get them to do a faster research than I could, because they'd probably understand how to do that quicker or might just take pity on us. As poor quilters want to know. If you happen to know because you have information, like written information from a book or something that tells you about that original quilt. Excuse me. I would love to know that. So you can email me, pat@patsloan.org, and I will love to hear from you about it. So there you go. So that's all the eagle stuff fit to print today. Staying with patriotic. The next banner is out, the Riley Blake banner kits, and you can, some of you have subscribed, so that means you're getting them each month in these gorgeous boxes. The kit are just so fabulous. This is the same kit that my tulip was done in. There was the ice cream, which never had any extra kits, and there was the bunny, which was for Easter, and so you can still get one of those. You can still get some of the tulips or some of those, but this is the next one. So let's take a look. They're just so well done, such a great size, and they come in this beautiful box that is just perfect for storing all kinds of things. I don't want to rip this sleeve. There we go. I didn't want to pull it off either to begin with. You know, so many issues. Don't. Okay, here's a beautiful box with that. Actually has a magnetic closure. See? They're so nice. They're perfect. Whoops. Okay, so here we go. These fabrics are, yeah, let's just pull them out. Let's do it. Do it. The banner is so sweet. A big star with the smaller stars, and then the red, white, and blue stripes. And so here are there's the fabrics, and then solid, and then the background with the stars, and then there is a plaid in there too, which is part of the smaller stars and the binding. Yeah, so excellent. I'm going to make that one for sure. I'm going to make that one. So that is just gorgeous, and you can get one, and it comes with the pattern, of course. The pattern is only in these kits. So who knows if Riley Blake will ever do anything with them down the road, but this is how it works right now. The other thing is I got in that giant bag. Hold on. I got to get it out of here. This is the next giant bag that came out from Tula Pink, and it's with her Roar design. There are the dinosaurs. So this is the line that has all the dinosaur stuff. So I've got blocks in here. I have them in here with a design board, the 18-inch design board. So the 18-inch design board fits in there, and then I have the blocks on top, and I have in here the Make-A-Wish project. And so those blocks are inside. I am so excited to have these great big ones for keeping the bigger blocks, and then I don't have to keep folding them up, and I have a spot here for them so they're not taking up other room. Paradise lanterns for this week, we should have 2 rows together, working on your 3rd row, and I have just some clips here of when I was just working on this before doing the regular filming. I was doing a little bit to get this ready, so let's take a look. Before you sew the rows, check. These should be red, pink. This will be red, well, it's on the corner, but there is this red blue block and the light blue going this way, and check that the colors are all the right direction. Navy going to the left, and on this one the red going to the right, so that way you are good. You don't get messed up. And sometimes what you see is something that's not right. This was my first block. It was also the test block. And apparently I grabbed the wrong navy because I did the rest of them this way. Actually, Bobby helped me sew some of them. And so these are, this particular block, I only did one of the test block in this light blue. The rest have been done with the navy. So this one will come out. I can right now switch it over to one of the other navies that's already done, and I'll just remake that one. And that will go into the part center. The lovely part center up there. This is why it's good to look at it in camera, because I actually was looking while I was talking to you and I thought, that looks lighter and so than this. So I checked and yep. Okay, gotta fix it. So how do you handle when things like this happen? When you have something you have to take out and remake? How does that make you feel about the whole process? And how do you handle it? Are you gracious to yourself? It's just you, you know. Are you gracious to yourself and you give yourself some leeway and just say, okay, this is part of making. You cannot make without mistakes. It's impossible. Everybody makes mistakes at some point, and if we're making a lot of mistakes, then we just need a break. But if we're just, you know, like this thing was done weeks ago. I mean, literally weeks ago, I did the test block, and I just, you know, then I was doing the stars, and then I went back and did the other, you know, the rest of the other blocks. And so that is just what happens. I've already gone through and, like, on one side, just clip this every so often so that I could pull it off. But for me, if I one thing like this is not a big deal. It's kind of like, it will take me, it will be faster. It will be faster for me to just go ahead and take it out and move on than it would be to grouse about it, take photos, go complain on Facebook, you know, do all of those things, than to just, okay, let's just take it out. Let's just do it. Do it. You know, life is kind of too short to make this a thing. Make it a thing. I know there are people who just, oh, I already did the clipping. See, I already did the clipping on this one. A lot of the clipping. I mean, I know there are people that just do not like to make mistakes. And really, I appreciate that, because I am in that camp. I really don't like to make mistakes. If I make a mistake in a pattern I've written, that makes me very unhappy, because then there's work that has to happen, some major work, and other people are involved. But if it's something like this, there's no other people involved. It's just me and the seam ripper, which a lot of us affectionately call, you know, fun names. A lot of you have names for your seam ripper. Okay, I guess I didn't clip down here, so I guess I'm doing that now. All right, so I'm going to, this block is just about out, and then I will, okay, replace it, and we will go on, sew the 2 rows together. All right, still got a few more to clip. Don't get me wrong. I am not zen about taking things out all the time. Sometimes I'm in a hurry, which of course is when we make more mistakes, and of course then it's much more aggravating and frustrating, and we get mad at ourselves. But there are many, many times when I have, over the years, just taught myself that it is not a big deal. Now, I want to be careful, right? I don't sew it back in. That is a real issue. What I will do is I will put all 3 parts back up on the design wall. I'm taking this and throwing it on the back of the table, the dark one. Okay, right? Because otherwise you sew the same thing right back into the project. I have done it. Leave me a note. Leave me a note in the comments here. Have you done that? Because I know I'm not the only one. It does happen, because we're human, and that's why I threw it across the table. So some of you might actually toss it in the trash. I would not be surprised. Okay, so this is wrong. So there we go. Let's turn it. Okay, I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing, but I had it on the wrong side. So this is why you check, triple check. Okay, pink, red, well, pinky red. Blues, navy going the right way, red going the right way. Okay, so now put the 2 rows together. Remember, sew with the more points visible. So this is the block that I have intersections to deal with. And there are 3 of those, the lantern blocks, and on the second row there are just 2 lantern blocks. So those are underneath because I sew blind through those intersections. I use my guide beam and I peek underneath and I get it lined up first, like I showed you on the other videos. So now I'm ready. Gonna sew them up. Well, I can't tell you how satisfying it is to be able to have rows right away, even if I did have to undo something and have 1 more block to make. So anyway, I have several random things I need to go through, and this is one of those bins. So let's take a look at what's in here. This is the book that we are doing our next block Wednesday from. So if you don't have the book yet, go to get it. Link is in the description box below. Plus, go to my project page for the next. No, do I have that up there? I don't have it up there. Never mind. Never mind. It's not there yet. So this will be coming up. I'm going to be talking about it next Wednesday. Underneath was another book I just showed you recently because I thought it would be fun to do something from here with some of the collections I have. Okay, so those have to kind of go somewhere else. This one will probably go back in this bin. And then I have mushroom fabric from the project I did for, it was kind of fall. My stars and the bees. I want to make a pillow from that. So this needs to go in a different bin, some other bin, not this one. I've got a great big piece of beautiful gray blossom fabric and a note under here. Okay, so this is what I'm using in Make-A-Wish, but I have plenty of that, so I don't need that there anymore. This is some of my fabric from Sleepover, and this, because I was using these two for the bigger canning jars. Do you remember the bigger canning jars that I did? Let me put a quick picture. These bigger canning jars that I decided to go with the smaller canning jars, but these bigger ones, I still would like to make that quilt. And I did 1 or 2 test blocks, and this is the fabric from that. So that needs to go in a different bin. And to round out what is in this bin is a random red polka dot. I think this is for the canning jars as well, right? So those are the canning jar things. Okay, so that's not so bad. This one did not have a ton of different things in it. I just need to find a home now for some of them. Okay. Be sure if you want to get the kit from the banner that you grab one while you can. And if you missed one of the others, there's still some. So get those. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. And I hope you enjoyed hearing. You're probably still going to hear a couple more things about the Eagle kit. And I hope you enjoyed seeing my Eagle quilt. I was happy to dig it out from a lower bottom shelf of quilts. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.